Folks, first off, I want to thank everybody for coming here. We've had quite a few meetings, myself and the judge, and we have been looking at quite a few things. And Mayor Rader has been parts of many of them, and we have been discussing what all we were looking at and just moving forward as we are here. As everybody knows, there's been a lot here. One thing I'm going to do today, now welcoming you, I'm going to let Judge Brock take over here in a minute. He's going to go through some explanations of some statutes and some other things. And then from there, I'm going to come back to, because one thing I definitely want to talk to everyone about and give Mayor Rader a chance to speak here today too, is to talk directly to the people and the businesses and all. Because right now, we've got people out that's got a little animosity going and everything else, and we need to sort of discuss maybe quieting it a little bit. So with it going some, I'm going to turn it over to Judge Brock now, and then we'll move from there. Judge, appreciate you being here, and Mayor Rader, you too.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank both of you all, and thank all of y'all for coming out here today, especially you press folks, for being engaged, We all, as you well know, if you have been in any store, any restaurant, any website on the internet that has Bell County, Middlesboro, Pineville associated with it, this is a very, very important issue to this community. And it is time sensitive, as we detailed the other day, when my counterparts, the mayors of both our towns, and the commission came here and met. To say that we were somewhat disappointed, not only us as elected officials, but the community at large, would be an understatement. There has been an outcry across this town, both towns proper and throughout the county, for action to be taken. We had done some preliminary looking at the statutes as it pertains to this commission, how it's established, how it's appointed, who sits on it, are they legitimate, are they not, prior to today. Do not think that what we're discussing today is a knee-jerk reaction to what took place in this same room the other day. We felt confident that when presented with full, forthright information, that the commission, regardless of who may be on it, would make a decision based on the weight of the information and not based on anything else, based on the weight of the legal opinions that were provided, based on the weight of those of us that the mayor and I are charged with this board. The statute clearly calls that out. There is no dispute that the board and its members are appointed, removed, set by the county judge executive and the mayor. That's not for dispute.
The mayor of the largest city.
Right, let me correct that. The mayor of the largest city. I don't want to confuse anybody and cause Sherwin some undue issues with people aggravating her about this. This is the mayor of Middlesboro and the county judge executive, and it's laid out by statute. We are the ones that are responsible, and the mayor and I have met before Tuesday's meeting, and we have met, as he said, several times after. And we collectively are going to lead as we should have. Now, I'm going to broach into a little bit of the backstory to this just for a second. I'd be remiss if I didn't sit here and say that as county judge, over the course of the last 6 years, that people have came to me and had made complaints and brought up various issues about all the boards and commissions here in the county. I'd say the mayor, when he served as county judge and as a magistrate and as mayor, would say the same. I'm going to apologize to you today for failing to address some of the obvious things that I probably should have taken up earlier than today and prior to Tuesday. But while I make that apology to you, I can tell you with all confidence that I'm fully engaged, as is the mayor, in correcting this, and we're going to go about this in a timely, professional way. So, having said that, the reason that we've got all y'all here today is to clear up a few things. First, about, that due to social media and all of that, there have been some misconceptions, about what was proposed, and we're going to address that. And we also are going to replace 3 members of the Tourism Commission today And the three that will be replaced will be the chamber representative, who was Mr. Lawrence Tuck. We will be replacing Steve Osmus and Jill West. Now, when I say that, those are good people. It's not fair for anyone to feel badly at those people. Lawrence Tuck has been, as the mayor said, a great statement a while ago. It's a friend of his for 30 years. It's a friend of mine not for near that long. But Mr. Tuck lives in Tennessee. It clearly states by statute that you should reside in the area. While we all know that Harrogate is our area, and we have, and this is where my apology comes from, been somewhat lax or remiss, because we all have a great deal of respect for Mr. Tuck. He's a good man. You should hug his neck when you see him. He's done great charitable work in this community for years. He's been a part of ROHO. I can't sit here, and the mayor will, I probably should have left that for you, sir. I know you're here a lot closer, but I wanted to say that. Steve Osmus, same way. Steve's been in this community, and his family's been in this community all his life. He's a great person. He shouldn't in any way, the fact that those are the seats that are being replaced, the reason that they are is because they're vacant. Back in in December of 2011, Ms. West and Mr. Osmus's terms ended. The way it works is you continue to serve until you are replaced, resigned, or reappointed. I have never, as county judge, reappointed those two individuals, so those seats are vacant. Now, I knew that before Tuesday. We could have done this on those two. But as we began to scrutinize and to further look at the situation, as your public outcry was heard, it was obvious, the chamber became engaged, we needed to right this thing. And we're committed to doing that, and that's what we're doing. And in defense of these folks that are coming off and happen to, in my estimation, made a bad decision the other day. They made that bad decision based on bad information that they've been given. That's why they made a bad decision, period. Not because they're against this motel project, because they were frightened with bad information. And for those that frightened them, shame on you, okay? That's not the way you do things. And you shouldn't do things that way. You should provide things in an honest way, and if it don't go to suit you, then so be it. It was done in an honest fashion. So, don't hold it against those people. Don't do that. But we feel that a cleansing is necessary, that we address the situation, that the public is asking all these questions about how this works, how that works. Well, it's our job to let them know that. We'll audit the Tourism Commission. I haven't received an audit since I've been elected that I can find on record. The mayor, has it only been the mayor here for?
I've been here a little over a year.
But yet he doesn't have one, so we need to have one. And again, I apologize that I hadn't already got one, okay? But we're going to get one. And I don't anticipate there being a problem with that, but when you have new board members come on, and with all the issues with the public and all the questions, we feel that only prudent to take that step so that the public has confidence in what we're doing and what the commission's doing moving forward. So, having said that, those three folks will be replaced by Darrell Hale, Mike Long, and Teresa Francis will serve as a chamber interim member until the chamber can meet formally and put a list together for the mayor and I to look at and pick from that list. I'm going to hit the boycott thing. I know you want to too, but I want to comment on it. I know the mayor, it's especially sensitive to the mayor, but people, it's not how we get along beating up on folks on the internet or saying you're going to boycott some store, okay? We're not doing that. What if we did that? What if I got upset with the mayor or got upset with Sherman? That type of stuff, let's be bigger than that. We're trying to rise above all the old wounds. We're trying to get our communities unified. We're sitting here together. This is not the first time that we've sat together. but we're trying to do what you elected us to do. I believe you expected of me to do this. Well, I'm asking you to support us in the same way we're trying to represent you. And that's open, out front, honest, right here on the table. Let's don't be mean to our neighbor. Let's be good to them. So, all of this back and forth with that there's no place for that in this, okay? That doesn't need to happen. So I'm pleading with you, let's get past that. We're moving forward here. This is a good thing what we're doing. It's not a bad thing, it's a good thing. Let's try to keep it that way. And one last thing I want to clear up, there was some confusion about the amount of money that was being proposed that the restaurant tax was going to go to. The restaurant tax is not servicing $14 million, okay, of this project. It's 1.3, not 14 million. It's not a subsidy to the project. The developer will not receive that 1.3 million in his checkbook to do with as he pleases. So he's not being subsidized by it. Is it necessary to get the project done? Absolutely. But by legal definition of the subsidy, it absolutely is not. That's one thing. The other, there were some that said that we didn't need another tax. This is not another tax. This tax has been collected in Pineville since 1996.
Six of them.
Yeah, 1996. 97. Since 1997, this tax has been collected, the restaurant tax. This tax has been being used in much the same way to facilitate a growth project, a tourism project. That's what's being proposed, not some cold check subsidy to some developer from out of town. Okay? That's not what's being proposed. It's a growth project. It's going to help this entire community. It's not a new tax. It's not a $14 million deal that is being proposed. It's a $1.3 million deal. And the reason we've done this today is twofold. One, this is a time-sensitive issue. Two, it's way past being done along with that time-sensitive part of it. And I hope I didn't get over into to stuff that you were wanting to discuss, Mayor.
I appreciate that, Judge. One thing I want to do is, as I say, thank the Judge and Mayor both for being here. They have been much more engaged in the project itself. Me being here in Millsboro, I get a lot of the information. I check through, I look at. They have been engaged. I yield to them in some until this come up the other day. And when this started being discussed a month ago, that's when I got engaged some, because not quite a month. I was at the chamber dinner, and Ms. Rader asked me, could I help maybe speed this meeting along and get everybody together and do something? I said, yes, ma'am, I'd be more than happy to. I said, this is a great project for our area. And to really add to what the judge said, folks, I don't think there's anyone against the project. They were concerned some because, as he said, you will not find better people than what we have, the great people. But there is some issues. I addressed this just a little back when I was judge. Probably should have pursued it farther. So I'll take some of the blame as Judge Brock has on it some. We were not actually given lists to pick from. We were given a name and said this be representative, sort of. I think this was something that probably materialized quite a few years ago. And as we know in Bell County, there's been an old politics that has sort of gone on for many, many years. And it's one of the things that are holding us back, folks. And this is why it's so important to me to be here to support it 100%, support both of them. It's one that I looked at and really, I have to admit, as most of you know the other day, agreed 100%. I think it's a good project. I think it can be funded this way. I think everything is good. And I think there has just been some communication, and maybe some have read it without understanding it completely. One thing we forget sometimes, not everybody out in public gets a chance to read opinions, to read legal documentations and all.
Absolutely.
We get forced with it more and more and more. And it is a complicated issue group all the way through. So as I say, I don't think anyone's trying to just kill a project. That's not what any of us have said. What we're saying is we feel like it was one and we came in support. And as I say, as reading this statute, meeting with Judge Brock, not just today, but prior, because he asked me, he said, you know, there are two appointments that the way it had been done sort of in the past was sent to the
Right.
judge, and I told him, I said, well, Judge, I'll be honest with you. Let's have the meeting and let's move forward first. I said, let's not make a move here, let's move forward first. Let's look at it, let's see where we are. Well, once we start digging farther into the statute and getting more, because a lot of the public, I'll just tell you point blank, they're the ones that are now, because of technology, looking this up and sending to us marked in a lot of places, you know, in a lot of places they're marking it. Once we find that out, that actually engages our liabilities too, because we have sit here and known there's maybe something we should have been moving on and looking at. And that is the reason. And I want to say it again, I've got two super friends that are being replaced here today. I still have all the respect in the world. I have had people call me. I don't Facebook. I guess I'm a little older for the technology part. I don't Facebook. I have heard that there's a lot of things going on about boycotting businesses. People did this deliberately. This is happening. This one's running the show. There's no truth involved in it, folks. These folks made an opinion and they made a decision. They're good people. These businesses do not need to be punished. One thing we need more than anything in the world is for everybody to step up and be good neighbors and work again together and move forward in some. We are trying to clarify and clean up some of the things of the past. If you've watched, listened to any of our shows, many a times I've made comments and things about from our budgets to bookkeeping to other things that have been done proper, but were done in a way that was so outdated that we need to get back into the 20th century to move the 21st. This is another one of them instances, and we're asking you as community. And I'm really laying this on the media that's here. Please, when we put something out, let's be accurate, let's be positive about it, let's work with people, because you are a vital part of our community right here. And we need each and every one of you. We do appreciate it if you'll work with us. I'd like to ask Ms. Rader and Mayor Rader.
Excuse me.
Yes, sir.
Which one of you three is the chat today?
Do what?
Who's the chat person here today?
Chairperson?
Yeah.
I doesn't really have a chairperson. I'm the county judge executive.
I just wanted to.
This press conference has taken place, and I appreciate the fact that the judge and the mayor are the ones that called it. I just came to be a visitor, and they invited me up here. But there is a lot of misconceptions about this project overall, and about the restaurant tax and why we give our restaurant tax away to start with. That's dictated by law. That has to go to the Tourism Commission. People don't understand that. They think, well, it's a Pineville tax, it should stay in Pineville. So, you know, that's a question that a lot of people in some areas have. There's a lot of questions about it that people have, and a lot of them are things that it's hard to understand, and it's a long process, like we were saying a minute ago, with how the board members and things are chosen by the chamber. There should be board members by hotel and motel associations, and list of names submitted, and a process that, you know, should have gone on that for whatever reason, you know, it hasn't, and so that's part of it. It's going to be putting people to work and bringing people in to see our area and to stay here and to share with them the things that we love about this place. And with that being said.
Well, thank you. No, I wasn't meaning to cut you off. I wasn't cutting you off. One thing I'm remiss if I don't, I want to thank the board for all they have done in this commission. And I also want to thank our tourism director, Judy Barton, who is here today, for all. One thing I have looked at and been woken up on some here is, not as a county, I can't, this Miss Judy Barton.
Thank you, Bob.
You want to sit? You feel better sitting? Go ahead.
The camera's a little better.
Oh, okay.
First of all, I want to address the issue about the board members. There's no final person that Mr. Lawrence took. He's been a volunteer. He'll do anything for anybody. He doesn't want to make anybody mad, and that's just the way it is. When he was appointed, we submitted his name. Maybe we didn't submit 3 names. It was way back there, long time ago.
2002.
Okay. And we have asked that he be reappointed to this board, and that's not illegal to ask to be reappointed. And we did ask he be reappointed several times, along with other people who represent hotels and restaurants. And these are the people that have an involvement with, the Bell County Tourism Commission wants the Wasiota Hotel project to be a huge success. And we agree that new development is needed. The problem the commission has with the project is the use of tax dollars that are collected from the restaurant sales in Bell County. These tax dollars are currently proposed in the Wasiota Hotel project and will be used to fund bonds that subsidize the private hotel. The problem with this is KRS 91A393 prohibits the use of restaurant and hotel tax revenue from subsidizing in any form a hotel, motel, or restaurant. Our attorney, Luke Morgan, with McBrewer, McGinnis, Leslie, and Kirkland of Lexington, Kentucky, stands behind his opinion and will continue to do so. If the city of Pineville would like to submit another proposal, I'm sure he would be happy to render an opinion. This board consists of volunteers from the hotel, restaurant, chamber, and businesses that have given their time to help develop tourism in Bell County. All these persons, including myself, want to work with the city of Pineville and developers to make this happen, but we want to do so in a legal way. It is unfair that we're being criticized because we sought a legal opinion. That's the board's duty. I was informed of this press conference last night at 9:24 p.m. yesterday and didn't know the time of the conference until this morning about 9 a.m. So thank you for your concern in this matter, and anybody can see me anytime they want to and talk to me.